Nebraska and Iowa, Big Ten action. This is an annual Black Friday. Every year, Black Friday, these two teams play each other, Nebraska and Iowa. Iowa 10.5-point home favorites, 38 the total. I'm definitely giving the Dogs some consideration here. The Huskers at plus 10.5. You actually look at series history, Connor. The last few years, Iowa, Nebraska, they play every year this rivalry since 2018. The last 4 meetings, we've seen a 3-point Iowa win, another 3-point Iowa win in 2019, a 6-point Iowa win 2 years ago, and a 7-point Iowa win last year. I mean, Nebraska's been there, single score, single possession games each of the last 4 years. And I'm still in the same position as I always am with this Iowa team. I'm not going to trust this offense laying double digits. I'm not. Now, granted, they played a little bit better against Purdue and Wisconsin, winning those games, covering the number, and they are on a little bit of a point spread hot streak, 4 straight covers for Iowa coming into this game. But it's still not an offense I'm ready to say, yeah, let's lay double digits here. We feel confident. No. Spencer Petras has been, like I say, marginally better in recent weeks. They still can't run the football with a great deal of consistency week in and week out. That's something that would concern you going into this game against Nebraska. Now, Nebraska has their own issues. Obviously, they've already fired a coach this year. They've already got, a 3-win season with no bowl eligibility, obviously. But they got Casey Thompson back from injury, Nebraska, which is good to see against Wisconsin. Now, was it a great performance? No. Only scored 14 points. But you know what I'm impressed with and why I think the team has not tapped out Nebraska, why I think they're still there and giving an effort, is the way they competed on defense against Wisconsin last week. That tells me this team is not tapped out. They've not mentally checked out. And I think in a rivalry game like this is probably the spot on the schedule that Nebraska looks at and say, look, it's been a bad season, dismal season. Scott Frost got canned. We can make something special out of this season, at least if we end on a high note here in our rivalry game against Iowa. And they've given Iowa fits each of the last 4 years. So I like the 10.5 a little bit here with Nebraska. What do you think here, C-Mac?
Yeah, when this opened up, I get why people, some people want to jump on Iowa, but, now at 10.5, you mentioned it. Dog's been good here, 4-0 the last 4 years. I like what I've seen out of Nebraska, and just the defense. They're just at least coming to play. And this total, it's too high, too. This is an under. We just saw them play Minnesota, 13-10. It didn't get over the 32.
So much for my over 31.5 and the 8-1 over run for totals of 33 or less in college football. Yeah.
You know what, though? They moved it. And there was turnover after turnover. They had yards in that game.
They did.
That probably should have gone over, but it didn't. Yeah, Nebraska and the points here. Iowa, the better team, maybe win it. But when these teams get together, it's always tight. And I'm not playing the over. Under or nothing here.